Hello! Welcome to the first episode of the Coffee and Cider Cast. I like to call it the C&C Cast. It's easier that way. I don't think anyone else knew what I was calling it before we started. I'm Raio. Who are you people?
Hi, I'm Wi-Fi, no one, or just Wi-Fi, whatever you prefer.
I'm Corgi.
Exported or imported?
Definitely imported.
Well, I'm Gamer45, or Hunter. Whatever.
Also known as the guy who triggers Shantae fans.
As the videos entails.
Yeah. That was a good one. I really do like going back and looking at that one.
That was so funny.
It really was. That moment
I've now since then played as many Shantae games as I can, which is only 2, but that's half the lineup.
And
what's
there
the
only
lineup
like
again?
4?
Yeah, there's like only 4 or something like that.
Oh.
Would you say that it's been time well spent and you regret triggering Shantae fans?
I don't regret the triggering, but I do regret. Actually, no, I don't really regret it. It was a good time, I guess.
Nice.
Making those Shantae fans upset was also a good time.
Which ones did you play?
Pirate's Curse and Half Genie Hero.
Okay.
There are also currently 5 Shantae games. The 5th one came out recently.
Did it?
On Apple Arcade, right?
It's on all consoles. It's on Switch as well, I believe.
Oh, I thought it was only Apple Arcade. It was for a while, at least.
Yeah.
Is that Half Genie Hero?
Not Half Genie.
No.
I think it's called 7 Sirens or something like that.
Oh, that's out, really?
Yeah. It's the new one that's done with the Studio Trigger opening.
Yeah.
It looks really good, and then like you realize it's a Shantae game, so it's okay. Moving on before that gets the comment section going. I guess
I mean, they're already riled. Come on now.
that's true. They probably already are completely riled. They probably hate us. They probably hate me. I've probably lost a couple of subscribers. That being said, I've been gone for like a little under a year. I already kind of went into detail about it on my Discord, so if you want to check it out, you can go there. It's pinned and everything. Why I'm making the podcast is to help me not get burnt out making these videos, because a lot of people probably expect these videos to be easy to make. They're usually 5 minutes long, and that's it. But 5 minutes of content is nearly a week's worth of work for me, and most of that is just drawing. Non-stop drawing. Not like, obviously not 24 hours a day, but like, I have to get in a good couple of hours of doing nothing but drawing every day. And when I first made the channel, that was awesome. That was fun. That was all I wanted to do. But you do that enough times over and over again, and you get burned out pretty friggin' easy. I'm hoping that I can use the podcast as a way to satiate that and have video uploads on 1 week, the podcast on another week. This formatting actually, I don't know if anyone knows him. It's Pizza Pan Pizza. He makes.
Oh yeah.
Rebel Taxi. There you go. They do a similar formatting where it's video then podcast, video then podcast. I kind of want to roll with that for a while, see how it goes, and from there make a decision. So this is the first episode. Let's hope it's not the last episode. Let's hope people enjoy it.
I think it's grabbed like our previous podcast idea we had.
We wanted to do a podcast for a while, right?
Yeah, or at least you try to do multiple podcasts, different forms, different people, stuff like that.
All of which never made the light of day.
I find that I'm funniest when I'm hanging out with you guys or my other friends. I don't think that my scripted stuff is nearly as funny as my unscripted stuff is. And these guys are, you'll probably recognize a few of them. They're in my videos a couple of times. I lived with them. They were roommates of mine. We're not living together now, but that doesn't change the fact that we're all goofballs that like to talk about dumb Nintendo games and other games.
And other things.
Like some we'll talk about today.
Yeah, some we'll talk about today. We're gonna start with the one that everyone's talking about. The game's called
Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
It's been sweeping the nation. I'm not sure if you guys heard about it.
Plague
Demonetized.
I think it's actually a thing.
I'm not sure if it's still a thing, but it was for a while.
Wait, really? I can get demonetized for that?
Yeah. You can just
maybe
bleep it,
mention
though,
that
I'm guessing,
a lot.
right?
Well, I guess I'll be bleeping that.
I don't know.
I mean...
Mm,
I didn't
You
say-
want to be super safe?
it would just be like the whole. You won't get a strike for it. It would just be like the one video.
Yeah, exactly. Like, the only thing is that it's just demonetization, but I'm not sure how you're connected to the podcast, per se, just yet. Like, if you're going to put it on Apple...
Oh, it's going around the channel. I'm not going through third party or anything like that.
Okay.
Apple.
A podcast, or...
You can put like a bunch of podcasts on Apple, and
That's like the biggest one when it comes to podcasts, at least.
yeah,
I
Apple.
start with pears, thank you.
Now, okay. I see how it is.
Well, I started with Apple, legitimately, in the game that we were actually talking about. It's Animal Crossing. No,
Watch New Horizons.
no shit. I mean, everyone in the goddamn world is playing this game. I want to let everyone in the audience know, in case it wasn't crystal clear in my last video, this is my first experience with Animal Crossing, and it has left me addicted to a crippling degree. I think about this game an unhealthy amount of my day, and I play it an unhealthy amount compared to a lot of other people. Very good game. Very good game.
When you're not at least making a video for Fambles.
Yeah, when I'm not making a video. Like, I haven't played it in 2 days because I'm working on this one right now. But when I do play, that's the danger right there, is trying to balance it, because either I'm working or I'm playing Animal Crossing, and the rest of my life suffers as a result. Brittany called it the real virus. The fact that everyone was playing Animal Crossing.
Well,
Everyone.
It's a good one.
two-step process. Two-step process. You have to, A, be quarantined due to blank, and then B, get bored, and that's how you get addicted.
Very true. But yeah, recently Animal Crossing New Horizons had it finished its Bunny Day DLC, not DLC, update, whatever you want to call it. Thank God. I only miss it because eggs stack in 30s and fruit stack in 10s, and I was recently terraforming my island, but now that I'm done moving all my trees around, do not miss it at all. I'm glad it's
To be
gone.
fair, turnips stack in 100.
That's true.
I'm not gonna eat turnips. Those are my
I
money
accidentally
makers.
did. I ate 10 turnips. Filled up my bar immediately. And I was just so flabbergasted I didn't know what to do. So I didn't move any trees. I literally rolled the day over, and like I lost the power. But
Did you go poop it out?
I was just down 10 turnips. Like you eat 10 automatically.
Mm-hmm.
Straight
Yeah.
up. It fills you up.
And
Like move
It's
10
because
trees.
it's of all the stacks, right? Where it's 100 technically you have there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that the personal funniest part about that, the turnips and the fact that you could poop them all out, is that when your villager sits on the toilet, they don't like move around or anything. It's a kiddie game. So with their pants and undies on, just straight up shit into the fucking toilet.
I mean, that was actually one of the best things I saw this like earlier this day, where I was scrolling on Twitter, as I do, and then I see someone says, "This is the only way you get to my rocks," and literally it's fenced off, and you have the toilet, so you have to poop everything out, and you don't accidentally destroy your rock.
Oh, that's very
It's
smart.
really clever, surprisingly.
Wait. Is that a legitimate thing?
Yeah, no, like I can try and find the video again, but yeah, it's literally what someone
No,
did.
I mean like if you eat something and you sit on the toilet, it comes back
Oh,
out.
yeah, yeah,
What?
No, yeah,
Yeah.
dude.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Wait, does it come back out, or does it just...
No, not come back out. You poop it out. Like it literally just gets rid of all the fruit you eat.
So like if
That's
you
all.
if you have a
Okay.
full stomach of 10 and you sit on the toilet, your villager will sit there for a little moment, and then it says, and that takes care of that, and your 10 stack goes to 0. Like
Oh.
they just pooped everything out.
I thought you were just joking.
No, it's a real
Nope.
mechanic, and it's a funny one too. I love it. It's like that type of stuff is just it's so small and minuscule detail that affects no one. Like realistically, no one is gonna use that besides for the one-off joke, and then that's it. But it's still in there for that one-off joke. And I
mean, yeah,
love
what if-
stuff like that?
What if like you accidentally eat something and you're like, oh shoot, I have to like, you don't want to like lift up 10 trees and set them back down.
True.
That's true, I guess. Yeah, I didn't think about that. So I guess there is use to it. You can't do it until you have a toilet, or a toilet like something like a toilet. So even if you do accidentally eat a turnip, if you don't have one of those in your house, or outside on your island. It works outside on your island too. So Teddy can walk by and see me shitting bricks trying to get out my turnips. That I've seen that, the one that you're talking about, Wi-Fi. And I've also seen one where to enter the island, you have to roll over on 6 beds. There's just
Why?
beds stacked between cliffs, and you roll through the beds to get to the end of the island.
Why? What does that accomplish?
Inconvenience more than anything.
Across cliffs?
Okay, so with Terraform, you can make cliffs. So not across, but like the beds are in a canyon, and you have to go through the
Go
beds,
around her.
like in order to get to the actual island.
Okay.
These are some like intense ways of like blocking someone out that I never thought of.
There's all sorts of stuff, right? Right now,
I also noticed it's fencing. You could place fencing. Like, you can't place fencing when someone's on an island, but you could pick it back up. So you could, like, just make fence around your airport, block someone off or something. I don't know. You could, like, even charge them, like, give me X amount of bells or...
that's what turnip bouncers have been using is fencing.
Yeah.
Which, that's going the extra mile, let me tell you.
I mean, what's dealing with turnip bouncers, a lot of them are using that same thing with the toilet, except with just like a regular stool. So you have to still turn around, and you can actually just block people off by sitting there.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people do that. Recently, it got the Earth Day update, which adds in leaf, I believe it's leaf.
Leaf. I
It's
call him
leaf.
leaf because, you know, it's like a leaf.
Yeah,
Plant guy.
I know
If
that's
you
the
leave.
joke, but I didn't know if it was like...
I mean, the
Honestly.
names are kind of weird. I had the dessert rhino, Meringue, and the way her name was spelled isn't like how you normally would spell meringue, nor did I know how meringue was spelled. So I thought her name was Meringue.
But that's how you spell meringue.
Yeah, exactly. This is what I didn't know.
Oh,
Okay.
I see.
So I was just like, you mean meringue? And I was just like, huh?
I mean, one of my current villagers is named either Beardo or Beardo, and both technically work because he has a little beard, but he's also a bear, so I'm not sure how to pronounce it.
I've been calling him Beardo.
Don't worry, you're on a Raio video. 50 comments will freaking tell you how to pronounce something right.
I guess so.
You get Rabbids one wrong one time, and 150 of them come out.
You mean rabids?
Raving
Mayro?
Rabbids. That's
Hey guys, you like rabids?
I love-
Wadham?
Man, I love Rabbids.
You like rabies?
Raving.
Or the pinnacle, Arceus.
I'm not getting into this.
I
It's
call him
Arceus, by
Arceus,
the way.
too.
It's Arceus.
It's Arceus, but okay.
That's
Hooray!
It's the RKS
Now, is it-
system. Arceus.
Yeah, for Savali.
Savali's based on Arceus.
And we still have Arceus.
Anyways, we're getting off topic.
We
Yeah,
are.
exactly.
Point is, they added in the Earth update, which brings life. It brings bushes. It brings a new museum update. It brings
Which I got.
the
Red?
and the art gimmick of the game, which apparently existed in previous installments.
It did.
I don't know anything about that because I haven't played previous installments. To be fair, I also haven't played any of the new update because I've been a little busy. How have you guys been liking it so far?
Funny story. I played last night when like they threw out the update last night. I played it, but I didn't like save and quit. So when I turned it on today, like it had to do the reset and then go to the new day announcement and all that. But I didn't update yet, and I didn't want to quit and have like all my stuff not saved. So I got the first day. It started off with the Isabel announcement with her saying nothing's going on, nothing is happening, there are no visitors. And then I had to save and quit and then update, so I didn't get Leaf today. I'm hoping he comes by tomorrow.
Dang, that's sad. Did you get red?
Nope.
I don't think you would get anyone.
He might
I
have
got
gotten
kicks
it.
though.
Good old kicks.
I am enjoying it. It's minimal update, obviously, just because that's kind of how it looks like Animal Crossing roll, where like, yeah, we added a couple of features as well as like, here's the main holiday event. Like, I wouldn't be surprised with probably after May Day event wise, they do another somewhat big update. Say like add Brewster back, because I would be happy with that. Of what I've seen so far, it's been kind of cool. As I said, I got the museum going tomorrow, and I have Nook's Cranny expansion going on tomorrow, like most people. The main thing is that I'm excited about bushes, because what I've been mainly doing so far has just been trying to do hybrid flowers, but was disappointed when I looked into it and saw that supposedly bushes don't have hybrids, so
Oh,
whatever.
Don't?
Supposedly, like, it's day one, so obviously we're not going to know until like a couple days. But
From what I noticed when I planted my bushes is that they don't get watered like normal like flower sprouts do. They don't have like
Kind of like
effect.
trees.
They're coming up like trees, so I can see why, but
I think it's probably just a fixed amount of what you can get instead of the hybrids, which that's pretty unfortunate because there would be
Also-
some pretty cool colors.
announcement. If you talk to Tom Nook, he'll give you the hedge recipe, which is practically just defensive. They're
I
practically
just found out
fences,
about
but
that too.
Make sure you do that.
So it is a fence,
Okay.
right? Like
Practically,
you
yeah.
build it as a fence.
Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome.
That's exactly what I wanted. I didn't want fences.
I think
They look
my favorite two parts of New Horizons are furniture and fencing. You could give me all the fencing DIYs and I would be set to play the rest of the game just like that. I have already fenced, like, I've made a front and backyard for, like, myself, 3 other villagers. I'm making a library house using a dummy account because I'm insane.
Wait, you actually went through with it?
Yeah, I already had a dummy account on my Switch because the Raio account I have on my Switch, I have a couple of friends on there, and sometimes, like other people, I don't feel like talking with others. So to avoid being seen online, I go onto another account called Not Raio.
Why don't you just, if people ask, if people ask, just tell them no.
It's because I've had people tell me, like, hey, you want to play some Puyo Puyo Tetris? And, like, I'll be like, no, I'm actually busy tonight, so I can't. And then they'll be like, but you're on Smash, or you're on Animal Crossing. And I'll be like, well, you got me in a
playing
box.
Smash and or Animal Crossing. Mind your business.
I really just need to tell people no, I don't feel like doing that. Regardless, I use this dummy account to make a library, and it's gonna look so cool. I already have it like all in my head. As I was walking on the beach, I realized something. In case you're a DIY nut, the bottles that spawn on the beach are not just a singular day excursion. They're player specific. So if you have all 8 dummy accounts activated just to do this, every day you get 8 DIY recipes, 1 for each account. So
Does each account need to sign in?
yes, you need to sign in with each to get it, but
Okay.
you can drop off that bottle or the DIY and someone else can pick it up. So if you're willing to go through the effort of closing out, opening again with 8 accounts, you can get 8 DIYs every day.
And you still have 10 like villagers if you still have 8 accounts, or does it like balance out eventually?
You have 10. You will always
So you can
have
have
10.
Houses.
What's that?
That's a lot of houses.
With the 10 villagers and the 8 accounts, you could have 18 houses on an island.
18 houses plus Blathers, Nook's Cranny, and the
Sable
Tailors. Yeah, which makes a total of 21.
For now,
So-
too.
For now,
So
yeah.
I have a
I mean,
dumb
with the
ad.
red update, it's obvious they're going to keep updating the game, and if Brewster comes in, that's just another one.
Yeah,
that
they
you
added
place.
expansions to something that was already like there, so they could do anything.
Mhm.
They
Yeah.
could be like, yeah, Kix is getting his shop now, or
There's been data mines to suggest some wild stuff is coming. It's crazy to me that you can put that much on one island with like no penalties or like anything that makes it bad. The only problem that I see with it that kind of bothers me a bit, not on a personal level because I don't have this problem, but if you play, say you have a sibling or something and they play, right? If you already have all 10 villagers, they can't go get a villager. They can't experience that because you have your 10. So if they go
Yeah.
to a Nook Miles, they're never going to get a villager unless one of yours are moving out. Yeah, it does. And consequently, if you go and say have the campsite up and a villager comes and you're not playing, but your sibling gets on and they think this villager's just the cutest little button, so they add them to the village and they move out your favorite, there's nothing you can do about that because they are able to do that as another player on the island.
Yeah.
Okay.
The only way you could counteract that I could see being if you gave 10 unique villagers for every account, which would be absurd and impossible.
Mm-hmm.
But that would probably be my one thing I would dislike about the game if I were playing with multiple people on the same account, because I want a lot of control over my island and what I do. So having that wild card of another person that can get on at any other moment and fuck with my stuff is not something that I would prefer.
I think in that situation, they assume like you're reasonable with everyone else playing, and everyone else playing on the Switch will be reasonable too.
Yeah, and that's probably the case, is that like it's made for a family game, you know? Like you're supposed to communicate with your family before you do stuff. so
Yeah.
but I could already see young adults playing this game, and little Tommy gets on to go talk with Sylvia for the day, and Sylvia's got the cloud and is like, I want to leave, and little Tommy thinks, man, I don't want to keep her here if she wants to leave, and says, be free, Sylvia, be free. And all of a sudden she's gone. There's no getting her back. She's gone.
Oh no, I got rid of Hans. Ah, shucks. Oh, ah, dang.
Oh,
Did
man.
I tell you guys that out of all the villagers that wanted to move out from my island, Rodney was technically not the first. The first was Bertha, but Bertha's great, so I said no. But Rodney came up and was like, I want to move out, and that was the fastest yes.
You lucky dog. I have had...
I just need Ricky to move out, and then I could have, like, perfect.
I've had Marina, Al, Walker, and Knox all ask me to leave, and not a single one of them I want to leave, except for frickin' Hans. I even had someone come to my campsite, and they were like, hey, can I move in? And I was like, yeah. And they were like, okay, I'm gonna kick out Walker, and I was like, never mind, goodbye.
Yeah, Hornsby came to my camp, and then was like, hey, I want to move in, and I was like, sure, why not? You're cute, whatever. And then he was like, I want to move out Whitney, and I was just like,
No.
The fattest of us.
But I found Eunice first try, so...
Excellent. That's really good.
I'm gonna probably go hunting for one after this, just because I don't want Tom Nook sending in another person. Because literally, the person that just moved out for me, her name's Snooty. I didn't get any choice in that one. That was the only villager I didn't get a choice with. Where literally, it was the first day I got the campsite, so I went over to.
Oh, the first one's always confirmed, yeah.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, like, I went over to the campsite, and then that person was Beardo, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I go check the plots, because I got all 4 plots at once, and I see, oh, someone already wanted to move in.
You didn't realize that Nook would move someone in?
Yeah, no, literally, like, next day, or, like, I first day I got campsite, there's already someone that bought a plot with it, and then I had no choice in her.
Yeah, if you're not careful, they'll do that.
I missed one day and got Ricky. That way, when Rodney moved out, I remembered at like 9:35 that like I still have yet to recruit someone. So I was like, "Give me the tickets. I'm gonna just go island hop. Whatever."
It's pretty cool that this game, because I guess previous installments didn't do this, but this game, for the most part, out of the 10 villagers, 9 of them you have a choice in who it's going to be, because
technically
the first 2 you can reset if you want to. The next 3, they're going to be on a Nook Island no matter what. The only one that you don't get the choice in is the first campsite, and that was Hans, and I cannot wait for Hans to leave.
That was Rodney for me, and he moved out.
Is that just like a trend then, where literally the one that is forced into your campsite is the one that you don't like?
I don't know. You like Beardo? He was your first one, right, Logan? He was your first one, Beardo?
Beardo? No, sorry. I meant like literally the one that Tom Nook chooses for you. Like the one that it's not campsite based, but just...
No, see, yours happened because you didn't get out on a Nook Mile quick enough. But for most
people...
I did.
That's the weird part.
For most people, that is the campsite.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people complain about the campsite one. I do know that there's freedom in your choice for the first 5, technically. But
all set personality types.
Yeah, they're all set personality, and you get them in the exact same order. So your first 2 are always the big sis and the jock. Then you get the lazy. Then you get the preppy. Then you get the normal. And then the one that moves into the campsite first is the smug. Everyone's getting these smug assholes that come in that they don't want because they're the first ones that are forced upon you. Heaven forbid, Logan got the one that was good. The one that was
he's
good.
not. Here's the thing. He's not smug. He's a weirdo. He has the same personality as Hans. Yeah. I've told you this before.
No, yeah, that's the smug personality. That's the. Smug
I thought it was weirdo.
No, there's no weirdo person. Like, I know what you're talking about, I think. That's lazy, though. The personalities, I remember this because I want to make an all-personality unique island, but there's only 8 unique personalities, so I can't do that. The personalities are Big Sis, Snooty, Smug, Jock, Normal, Preppy, Lazy, and there's one more that I'm forgetting about.
Uchi's the sisterly, so apparently... On the wiki, it's also determined by gender. So the male is lazy, jock, cranky, and smug. The female's normal, peppy, snooty, and sisterly.
Cranky was the one that I had forgotten. I have Cranky, it's Knox, and they're basically just old men.
Yeah.
I have an old
they're
man,
not
but
too
he's a
bad.
sweet boy.
They're just
Same
old
concept.
men.
Yeah. I have Dobie.
The update seems cool so far. I'm curious how Red works, just because literally he's wandering the first day that I met him, and then he says, it would be kind of cool if I make my ship into a front. And then I'm just like, is the ship not unlocked yet? Can I not go in?
I'm guessing it's like Sable Sisters or something like that, or Harv. They appear on the island, you have to talk with them first, and then they become interactable after that.
Maybe.
Okay.
I know from what I've seen from the trailers that from like every island has that secret little alcove in the back of your island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That seems like when he shows up.
No, that's literally, he has a ship there already. It's just like, I tried to go on the ship, and he said, it's kind of rude to go on this sketchy ship without the sketchy person there. And I go over to back to Red, and then I ask, it's like, hey, I was trying to basically say, like, hey, can we go back to your ship? And he's just like, I should make it to a shop front, and then just kept on repeating. It's like,
it's probably a one-day thing, and then he docks for you. That being said, that secret beach was the perfect place for Godzilla, and now my day is ruined.
Same.
You could keep him there.
Yeah, right in front of Red's shop.
You can't get into Red.
Hey kid, I got some art for you. Holy crap, what is that?
I'm turning around.
Have him face the ship so he knows not to mess.
You give me
We
fake
don't
art, I
want
give
any
you Godzilla.
fake art.
That being said, Animal Crossing is not the only new game to have released recently. If you follow the channel, you might have an inkling of a suspicion that Raio is a bit of a persona nut.
I thought we were talking about Splatoon, honestly.
Yeah,
What?
that's what I was following.
Platoon.
You said
Inkling.
Inkling.
Oh.
Side note for Splatoon, the first Splatfest is getting redone, but
Anyways, what I was talking about was Persona 5 The Royal. That released recently. In America, it's been out in Japan for a while. As a result, I know a couple of spoilers already, and that's just the type of guy I am. I don't wait. I get as many spoilers as I can early on, because
Hence the
I have
rumors
no
and leaks
patience.
section of this podcast.
Exactly. Hence the rumors and leaks section of this podcast. Hence me knowing Incineroar was a character since Ultimate got its title.
Thanks, Virgin Ben.
Yep.
as someone who's now like 130 hours into P5R and has got to the new stuff, it is amazing.
I got done with Futaba's Palace, and now I'm in the middle of Futaba's Arc. I'm about like 80 hours in, but I'm very happy just with all the little nice like quality of life things.
I know.
Making social links so fucking easy. I'm almost level 4 social link in goddamn July with everything. I just have kindness.
wow.
I've completed one social link. What was it?
Didn't you complete Ryuji?
Yeah, I completed Ryuji, and then I'm close with a
Ryuji
bunch
is
of
so
others.
easy. I've noticed
I know.
Ryuji is the one confidant where kind of spoilers, but
You don't
On-
need any like blocks.
yeah, On has a few blocks where you have to like just spend the day with her before you could advance. Ryuji doesn't. You could just go.
A lot of the roadblocks have been moved around, so like On does not have roadblocking. You don't need to increase your kindness some more to complete her.
That,
Well, you need level 2 still to start, but you don't need anything to
Yeah.
continue.
that,
Yeah, I know.
And the best part, Haru's social link confidant is no longer locked behind max kindness.
that was the most annoying part about both Haru and Makoto to me, was you needed charm and kindness, and
You still need the charm, but
you still need the charm?
they added so many new things to give yourself charm, proficiency, and kindness, which are like the 3 stats that were hardest to get.
Kindness is still kind of annoying, but like it's so much easier than it was in the original game.
Just
Where
Clean Sojiro's shop, you get points with him and kindness, and it just, since Sojiro's
That's
social
honestly
link was
incredible.
one made better.
they also tell you about the goddamn smoothie shop, which I didn't find out about until my 3rd run of the original Persona 5.
Oh.
So
Yeah, there's a lot of good
That was a
quality
good
of
shot.
life changes from what I'm hearing, and
And best quality of life change is that one, ammo for guns resets per
Oh,
fight.
yeah.
you
Per
don't have
fight,
to
not per
fucking
palace, per fight.
say-
And baton pass,
You can
unlocked
gain
for every
back-
character from the beginning, and
Yeah.
it levels up damage per pass.
for real,
as
They
well as
revamped-
you can good reference. You can also level up your baton pass to increase your HP and increase your SP back, so you can constantly fight in the.
I don't care about any of that. The fact that it's open from the very beginning, that was the worst
Yeah.
part. The fact that you had to get like the first 2 social links to do it,
Nope, you can just get it from the start.
that's
Yep.
awesome.
Wow.
How is Akechi handled in this game? Has anyone gotten?
I really like his social link so
Okay.
far. Actually,
Question: I could get real into it, but
Yeah,
it
don't get spoilery. Just talk
I
about,
don't
like,
really want
okay.
spoilers. I just want to know: is
Spoiler-free
Akechi still
version.
a story locked character like social
No.
link?
After
It
you
got
get
changed.
rank 1, he'll become nighttime, but his social link takes place entirely in the new area.
Ichijoji.
Yes. He's
Yes.
nighttime, so most of the time, the 3 new ones, including the Counselor, Faith, and Akechi's revamped one, they'll all text you whenever they're ready. Every time. It's not like a thing where you can like check them up and be like, who's available? No. If they're available, they'll text you. They'll let you know.
Yeah, as
'Cause
well
that's
as
cool.
That's nice.
But all I'm gonna say is that the reason they text you, those 3 text you whenever they're ready. There's some Akechi stuff to where like spoilers for the original Persona 5 if you haven't played it yet, but when he joins you, there's like 2 ranks locked behind after that for team purposes and stuff like that.
Right.
But and there's obviously a time limit. I won't spoil that, but there's to where the 3 first off the 3 new, sorry, not all 3, but the Counselor and Akechi's are there's a
And-
time
and
limit
the-
on that is
and
at the
Faith
end of,
technically, but Faith's really easy. Yeah.
but those 2 are locked till the end of Size Palace, but they'll let you know. The game will tell you, it's like, hey, the Counselor, whatever, he's only here for a certain amount of time. Like,
Okay.
They probably
Yeah.
word it in a non-spoiler way that like,
yeah, they literally just
You should
say,
get
like,
this shit done. It's like the Sun Arcana, where it's like, hey, remember, you need to get
Right.
this shit done.
right.
they
okay.
literally just say,
Okay.
his tenure at the school is almost up because he was hired for a certain amount of time, so he's going to be leaving. That's how they word it. You want
As
to get
a
Counselor, Faith, and Akechi's new Arcana. You want to get those. Do not neglect those. Neglect anything else but those. And that's all I'm
Yes.
going to say. Just get
Yes.
those done.
Okay.
As much as you
Nice.
can.
I have yet another reason not to go to OY. Perfect.
I mean,
Technically, with the added new stuff, there's time to do confidants you didn't do. I'd say priority is those 3, your teammates, and then anything else.
I know that
With-
it was possible to do all confidants in P5 like original, but you had to like essentially have a guide, because if you tried to do it just like casually on your first playthrough, you weren't gonna make it.
yeah, but that's with every Persona game, for the most part.
So is that the same for the Royal, or is it a little more lax?
Because of it's a lot lax because you can get your social stats up easier, and they took out a lot of the it's a lot easier just to get your confidence leveled up, because the way they make it work is that you have access to arcanas for confidant purposes like really early. Like they really flesh it out. They give you a nice good amount, especially since they reworked which personas or which confidants, so on and so forth. But
the only thing you technically need to do is know what to say to your social links, because otherwise you can fall behind on that. But otherwise, it seems really easy to get 100%.
yeah.
Interesting. If you couldn't tell, I don't have a copy of the game yet because of the that went around and essentially closed a lot of places down. As a result, I haven't been able to pick up a copy, and I can order one, but the only place I can order from is Best Buy, which there's nothing wrong with ordering from Best Buy, I just haven't really done it. A lot of my time's been focused on Animal Crossing, obviously, so I've been waiting for like when that game is kind of just like, okay, I can put this on the back burner, I don't want to play this as much right now, and then start up P5 the Royal, because it's one of those games that I want my full attention to be diverted to, just because I really like Persona 5. It is probably one of the best RPGs of all time.
Also, one thing I noticed is that in the original P5, for like Ryuji, for example, when you leveled him up to max, that was only when he was with his awakened persona were you able to get like Zeodyne and Maziodyne.
Right.
They removed that. They removed the restrictions of like certain level abilities you get with awakened personas.
Thank God.
Oh,
Any
that's
base-
especially
any
good
base
just because of
persona-
Morgana.
Yeah, any base persona will get all their abilities when you awaken them. They just get, like evade, their weakness skill, and like an amp skill, and the usual.
Yeah.
So
Thank goodness, because
Okay.
there's a lot in Persona 5 that like the game's good, the game's great. There's a lot that could have used that could have been used for to get fleshed out, and I almost wonder if Atlas, because they've done this for the last 2 Persona games where they make the updated version, I almost wonder if Atlas knew they were going to make an updated version and sort of like knew that some of these features would be better if they changed it in a certain way, way.
I actually might have an answer to that. My favorite description, I'm not going to say the Twitter user, but one of the descriptions said that you could really tell that Persona 5, the original version, was developed for PS3 and PS4 because of how a lot of the new stuff they added to 4 is a lot of like no does, and then probably because of it being started in the PlayStation 3 era, there's a lot of like contrivances that they sort of had to work around. And...
Yeah, because Persona 5, it's like a Smash Bros. Brawl situation where it was announced and it just didn't come out for the longest time. Like, it existed and that was it. Beforehand, it was, but like with 4, it got the series a little more mainstream, obviously, but not to the extent that 5 has. So, like, unless you were a fan of Persona, that game just didn't exist. Like, you know, like 5 just was on the back burner and no one really talked about it until it did come out. So the fact that that is a thing, because I didn't even know that makes a lot more sense to me as to why the Royal has so many of these updates, because it's likely been a long time, and now that they had it out with the response from the community and just in general, they probably saw these updates that they could add to make the game easier. That being said, it's real interesting to me that their updated version of the game is on PlayStation 4 just again. Normally, how Atlas kind of plays these things is the updated version is either on the next generation or on on a mobile port. So like
That's you, P5 Gold, P4 Golden.
yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Still.
the original version of this Persona 3 FES was on the same generation, PS2, but
To be fair, P3P is a lot better than FES from what I've heard.
I've heard the same
FES
thing. I've heard the
so-
same
made
thing.
it better.
Yeah.
So, that being said, I've seen a lot of Persona fans in strife over what is better between 4 and 5. And I guess because I've only played 5, so I don't know, like, Persona's history as well. I've seen P3. I've not played it, but I've seen. That being said, it's hard for me to imagine the same people that have played Persona 4 going and saying that Persona 5 is a bad game, when to me it just seems like such a good game, like, overall.
I mean,
I
so
saw
the
a
main
video on
thing...
this the other day where apparently in the other, like, I've only played P5 too, but in the older games, if you ignored your confidants, they could doubt you, or it would be like, as like the description of the video said, it'd be like reverse, and you'd have to talk to them, regain the trust before you can continue. They took that out, but the mechanic was apparently still in the game, just never implemented. So like you could access those scenes, and I feel like it took away a lot of the stress. I don't know, it might have taken away like a lot of the stress of time management and
that
stuff
just
like
seems
that.
like a nuance to me, though. Like, that doesn't seem like it benefits the game, other than like you said, giving it a time restriction, like making it so that you are more restricted. Like, I don't want to have to worry about 50 million different confidants at once. I want to be able to work on what I want to work on.
Exactly, like you can power through one that's really good, like say like Chihaya or something, who could give you bonuses, or like
Right.
Like, say the
Yoshida's
first game,
Yoshida's
with, like-
confidant who can like help you with negotiations, stuff like that.
and then Kawakami in, like, the first game, where you're just like, I want to go hang out at night.
that's the biggest update, is that you can go hang out at night without needing Kawakami. That's
No, you still have to if you do after Mementos, but they lowered the restriction of Morgana just saying, hey, go to sleep.
You know how,
Thank
like, at the very
goodness.
beginning of the game, where he would not shut the fuck up about, like, you need to go to bed, even if it's
Yeah.
fine?
right. Yeah.
It's like, they restricted that for the most part.
It's if you went to Mementos and you didn't have, or a palace and you didn't have Kawakami, you could hang out in Leblon and you could like study, read books, clean. You could do a whole myriad of things to get social stats up just from home. But with Kawakami, you could still go outside, see confidants and like that.
Right.
So it's nice.
That's cool.
It's good.
All right. So, going sort of in the vein of Persona 5, Joker's in Smash. That's from Fighters Pass 1. Fighters Pass 2 was announced. That's my segue.
Got arms.
That's my segue.
We'll
You know
get
what I
better.
realized the other day?
What's
Is
that?
They said, hey, we're gonna announce the arms thing in June. E3 was supposed to be in June.
Oh no, yeah, it was totally lined up for E3.
Yeah,
I-
as well as it's
Yeah.
probably still gonna happen. Just
I
they'll
mean,
just have
yeah.
a Nintendo Direct with that.
I have this running theory that the mini was planned to be a regular direct, just because that's the longest mini we've ever had. They've never run that long. Usually they're 15 minutes, and that one was like 25. So my theory is that they had a couple of big announcements for later in 2020 that either potentially got shifted due to what's going on, or they simply wanted to change the formatting of what was going to be the E3 Direct, but now they had to change it because E3 was canceled. So what I mean by this is E3 has a very particular direct formatting where instead of having a highlights reel where they show a bunch of games and then focus on one, they pretty much just show you the one couple of games that they want to focus on and give a lot of time to those games. With a normal direct setting, you get the game, like the opener, then you go into the highlights, then you go into the first middle game, highlights again, middle game, highlights, and then the end of the direct and the big finale.
Big game.
Exactly.
Yep.
I think that what happened was they took out the big game that was supposed to be in this full direct and are saving it for what is now going to be the June direct. I think that Smash also was impacted by all of this, and instead of having this tease of it's from ARMS and this is when it's going to be, I think that they were just flat out going to reveal the character trailer, but things got delayed.
I say that one's debatable just because I'm honestly on the fence if they planned this or not. I was always thinking to myself, hey, you know what's kind of interesting? Let's spin this whole thing where, hey guys, we're going to announce the game it's from, but not tell you what character it is. So you gain traction with how many people are speculating, as well as like it's kind of like a buzz type of situation where it's like we're feeding the trolls by saying what it is but not.
I can see that.
That's true. Yeah. There's been
Especially
much more
with, like,
buzz about ARMS because of this whole thing than I think the game ever had on its release, which is good because ARMS deserves it. ARMS is a very good game. If there's anyone that says that ARMS doesn't deserve to be in Smash, I think that they are very wrong, and I think
anyone that says you're not allowed to be in Smash are kind of just foolish in that regard.
No, yeah, definitely. But I think, like, I understand being upset by this character over a third party or something like that, because this is a world that technically is already in Smash. But with how little content from ARMS there is in Smash, I am 100% for this DLC. Because we don't have any music, we don't have a stage, we only have the assist and the 2 Mii costumes and the 4 spirits. Like,
I didn't even think about like what stage they would choose. Like, what do you think? It's going to be like the top stage that everyone hated, or what?
I think that whoever the character is, it'll be their stage, because the stages in that game reflect the characters.
Oh, okay.
That being said, and I'm very curious because I don't know if I've talked about this discussion with you guys, but I want to know, who do you think the character is going to be?
I hope it's Twintel. I think it's going to be Springman.
Okay.
I think Springman or Spring Girl, or the theory that it's from ARMS 2.
Okay, that's a pretty good one. What about you, Gamma?
Who do I think the character's gonna be?
Yeah.
What? I don't know, honestly. I feel like it might be the ninja guy.
Ninjara?
Yeah.
I haven't really talked about it because the echo chamber is god-awful for this speculation cycle. This is like when Erdrick was in speculation and everyone was only talking about Erdrick. And then it ended up being Luminaria as the base and surprised everyone.
Yeah, like, as well as there's that theory that it's going to be Springman, Ribbon Girl, Min Min, and Ninjara.
So the thing is with that is that the alt thing really can't work for the ARMS characters because of how unique they all are and their unique personalities. Like, doing an alt thing would not only disservice the rest of those characters, but the series as a whole. If we're going by what Smash typically does, they typically include either the main character, the face, or the most popular. You see it with Pikachu, you see it with Hero, you see it with Sans. It's just one of those 3 are usually the one that they always gun for. Those characters for ARMS are Springman, Ribbon Girl, and Min Min. So the thing is, Springman's an assist. We all know that. Ribbon Girl is a Mii costume, and Min Min is a spirit. All of them have something that people have basically said are deconfirms for Pass 1.
Yeah.
Because of this, instead of giving up those hard ways of saying, well, maybe they could change their mind and it can be an assist, or maybe they could change their mind and it can be a spirit, etc., etc., people are saying that the character has to be something other than those 3, because these rules that they made cannot be broken, and it is baffling.
I mean, that's just how Smash speculation has always been, at least.
I know.
It's always, it's not allowed until the rule is broken. Like, literally, that's how Ridley and K. Rool and Banjo and Hero and Harry happen.
Yeah, it's just, it keeps happening. I think that personally, I think it's either Springman or Min. And the reason being that Springman is the face, he's the main character, he makes sense. The only reason they wouldn't go for Springman is if the assist thing really does matter, which I could argue that maybe it does. But
I mean, I've argued with you before saying that I'm pretty certain, or at least not certain, but more like hoping that this update with Smash, with like next Fire Pass, is also bringing with like an overhaul in assist trophies and Pokemon and items, where let's add in some Pokemon from the new game, so people shut up about that. Let's add in new assist trophies. Let's take out some old Pokemon and assist trophies and that just replace them. So like it's kind of this Wild West idea.
They could literally just be like, if it is Springman, just replace the Springman assist trophy with like Min or something.
A running theory is that, and I really like this theory, the reason we're getting 6 fighters, like 6 packs, in relatively the same amount of time, is because they were able to take the assist of Springman, buff up the model a little bit, make it a little nicer looking, and use that as a basis. Because the assist of Springman, for the most part, is like a full-fledged character. It has aerials, it has air dodges, it has smash attacks, like, it acts and functions like a real character would.
Okay. I mean, that's
they could just remove
technically
the Springman
possible.
assist trophy if they just make it a character.
Here's the big but to that. Like, the main thing is, sure, you could do that, but if you compare polygon counts between the assist trophies and the actual characters, there's a big difference. So it's kind of cutting it.
You would definitely need to like make a brand new model for it, or just up the polygon count on that model by a lot.
You can technically use the same rig, but you're going to have to add on to that rig.
There's definitely going to be stuff that they're going to have to add on to it. The thing is that, like, the point isn't that it's going to be a 1-to-1. The point is that they have that basis, which is why we're able to get another fighter.
You know what I think? You know how they said they have to extend the time for it? Maybe this is why. Because they're just taking the old assist rig and have to, like, they probably never worked. They literally have never worked with something like this. I mean, not literally, but with the exclusion of like Little Mac and I can't remember who else, if there's anyone else, but
Dark Samus, if you're thinking of assist
Little Mac,
became
Little Mac, Dark Samus, but this is like for a DLC, so they're probably just taking the rig, have to adjust it to make it to a fighter before they could throw it into the game. Because I mean, even if they have to make a new model, new whatever, they have to start from the ground up. The ideas are still there.
Sure, I really do think it's going to be Springman personally. That being said, the ones I wouldn't be surprised about are Ribbon Girl and Min. Min in particular is the most popular character in ARMS, like on a worldwide basis. If the whole Springman being an assist thing was the reason they can't include him, I could very easily see Min being a second best. Like, we couldn't get the main guy, but we can get the most popular.
It also still applies with like the assist trophy where you can use rigging on it.
Or make a twin tail.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say too. I hope it's twin tail. There's 2 things going against her. A, that ass though. And then B, she's interesting in regards to that she has her normal arms and then her hair's the boxing arm. So they would have to use a new rig, or they have to make a complicated rig for her to actually work.
They could do it. If they wanted to, they could do it. It's just a matter of, like, from Smash's history, the first character in the franchise is always one of those 3. So, like, either the main character, the face, or the most popular.
Watch the rigging they use be Belmont rigging. Because of the extension.
A Belmont skeleton to use for the ARMS character. God damn, that would be terrible. I'm real excited for ARMS, if I'm being honest. I think ARMS is a series that more than deserves it. I don't have a personal connection with the games, but the world of ARMS is really cool. The music of ARMS is stellar, and the character design is great. So I'm excited for it. It's a very interesting thing to open with. Like, where Joker, it sort of set the expectations really high because it was so unbelievable for some people. This, on the other hand of the coin, is potentially setting up very low because it's a Nintendo first-party character. It's essentially a shill character since it's from their own franchise and they're just pushing it again.
Saying, please play ARMS.
Yeah. That being said,
back also like Byleth broke like the Fighter Pass 1 theory of it has to be third party.
Yes, he did. He did, definitely. And
Yeah, they might be starting with that, so they can be like, yeah, we have the ability to do what we please. Remember that.
That could be the case, and it also has potential to be the most hype announcement if it is Springman, because all fan rules are dead at that point. The biggest fan rule is the assist trophy rule.
True.
And
Just to annoy you
Me custom
specifically, it's the trailer for the Arms character, and then you see it's Springman, and he's fighting, and then all of a sudden Waluigi comes out, and then does his little assist trophy thing, but then does another move, and everyone goes, "Oh!"
no. I'm so done.
I'm just happy that if it does break all those rules and it is Springman, that means I could
Zero.
finally have the chance to get all the characters I've wanted that have been shafted. Shovel
True.
Knight, Zero, Rex.
Okay,
They're
but
all viable at that point.
I think Rex is kind of a shoo-in at this point anyway. Because
Yeah,
they said with Arms, it's like they didn't bring it in because there wasn't a lot of time.
see,
And
here's
that's
also
also-
the thing that
And Sakurai
Raio
loves
didn't say.
Xenoblade 2.
Here's the thing that Raio didn't say. Technically, if it is, according to his theory, the side face, or the fan favorite, it breaks the spirit rule in all three cases, because Ribbon Girl, Springman, and Min are all.
so the cool thing about the Arms character is that no matter which character it is, even if it wasn't one of those three, no matter which character it is, it breaks a rule. Because if it's Springman, assists, me costume, spirits don't matter. If it's Ribbon Girl, me costume, spirits don't matter. If it's Min, spirits don't matter. If it's literally any other character, oh, look, that's our first character that is representing this series, and it isn't the main character or the face. So that rule is now broken.
So here's the thing
Huh.
too. If Twintel gets in too, it breaks the spirit rule, because she's also a spirit. Every other Arms character does not have a spirit.
So the
Every
funny
other
thing,
Arms character isn't that popular.
the funny thing
Yeah.
about Twintel is that she's popular. Don't get me wrong, but her popular is 100% a Western thing.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
Min is
Can't say.
by far the most worldwide popular, to the point that Arms did this thing called the Crash Bash. I believe that's what I called the Party Crash or something like that. Where
I forgot the name, but I know what you mean.
although there were fights going on, it was essentially a popularity poll, and the winner of that overall was Min. Like Min dominated that competition, to the point that people have been speculating that's why she is going to get in, because they took that data, which happened around the same time talks for Fighter Pass 2 were happening, and they applied it to Min. There's a lot of options. There's a lot that it can be. No matter what we get, a rule will be broken, so I'm happy about that. It changes the course of speculation for the better. That being said, if it's Springman, the consequences of that action are going to be immense. We already know the one character, and I'm not going to say them.
Wow.
We know the one character
Bandana
that
Waddle Dee. Bandana Waddle Dee. Waluigi,
Bandana D
Zero,
has-
Shovel Knight, Rex, they're all options at that point.
They are.
Bandana
Yeah.
Diaz.
And they're all popular too. They're all wanted characters.
The thing with Zero that kind of gets me is that if they had planned for Pass 2 around the time of around the running theory comes from an insider called Imran Khan has connections with Nintendo. Imran Khan had said that Pass 2 was talked about at E3 and decided upon at E3. Either a little before or a little after. I can't really remember which he said. I think that any Mii costume or spirit event that happened during Pass 1 will not be getting into Pass 2 as a result. Because why add that into Pass 1 if you knew the plans for Pass 2? Like, for example, Leon and Jill have a spirit event. Why give them a spirit event if you wanted to add a Resident Evil character in Pass 2?
Because you want to add Nemesis.
But even then, like if you added Nemesis, you could easily have Leon and Jill be on the spirit board.
Yeah.
Leon, Jill, Wesker. You know.
I see a lot of people use this argument as evidence that we're not going to get a Pokemon character because they had a Sword and Shield event. They had Zamazenta, Zacian, they had Grookey, Sobble, Scorbunny, Morpeko, Corviknight. All these Pokemon that you could easily see on a spirit board if they wanted to make a Pokemon character are already in the game.
Yeah.
So that tells me that Pokemon is not getting a character. On the other end of the coin, we've had the Mega Man Mii costumes be thrown into this pass at multiple different points. So I'm thinking Mega Man is also not getting another character. I'm thinking that if we're getting something that hasn't been revealed yet, the most likely 2 characters that come to mind every time without doubt are Lloyd Irving from Tales of and Gino. It's been a whole 5 packs now, and there's been nothing.
Not showed up.
You speak this name in this house.
I feel like the last pass, bunch of fan favorites for a bunch of different fans. This pass has a chance to be like, I don't know, like mirrored as like From the Ashes, Springman from Assist Trophy to character, like Gino from all types of D confirmed to in the game, Bandana Waddle D.
Paper Mario, so I can have my caviar
first,
with
but
my
it's
filet
coming
mignon.
back.
I
feel like there might be a theme they're trying to go for, because I feel like the last pass had the theme of big fan favorites for different types of fans.
My one thing
That's
that would
true,
counter
yeah.
that would be that I would go as far as to say that just a little personal here, but I don't think Byleth is as big a fan favorite as a lot of people may say.
To be fair though, out of all Fire Emblem reps, people loved Byleth. They actually
That's
wanted
true.
them in the game, and it also filled the role of axe, bow, and lance user.
Byleth is by far the best Fire Emblem character. Like,
Yeah.
he comes from a great Fire Emblem game. He represents the weapon wheel more than any other character does. The only reason people were bitching was because there was more Fire Emblem, but that's more of a Corrin and 4 Marths problem than it is a Byleth problem. I swear to God, if we lived in a timeline where Roy, Lucina, and Chrom were not in the game, no one would bitch about Byleth. I swear. That is 100%
Probably not.
true.
Yeah, probably.
I kind of want to wrap up this segment before we go into Q&A. I want to really quick talk about what we think, even if it's just like, very vague, like, oh, this type of character, what we think is going to be the basis for Fighter Pass 2. Gamma, you mentioned that you think that it's going to be Return from the Ashes. Do you think that there is a specific 6 characters that you already are thinking are going to come back, or is it just an idea right now?
It's kind of an idea. Like, we only know the first one, and I feel like if they pull one character from Assist Trophy to Hero, they won't do it for the next, 3 other characters everybody wants, which are Shovel Knight, Zero, and, Waluigi. They won't do that 3 more times, I feel. Because then a lot of people will get upset, probably calling it cheap, but then again, you can never appease the Smash fan base.
Exactly.
But
you have an idea
of the day recording.
I feel like it might be, once again, be a lot of probably hype, well-wanted characters that people want even more now that they didn't show up in the first pass, such as Gino. Everybody wanted him, he was nowhere to be seen. So I feel like now the desire to have him in the game is a lot higher, so they might bank off that as a middle fighter pass character, such as Banjo.
I think that as far as it goes for Smash fan favorites, Ridley, K. Rool, and Banjo have been every rung on the ladder, and the next rung down...
And Simon.
But the next rung down before you get to either Isaac, Bandana D, any of those characters, I think is Gino.
I mean, how I'm thinking Gino right now is mainly, considering it's probably going to be the next E3 announcement, it's going to be, the ARMS character and then probably Gino, just to give hype, even though there's no E3.
Sure.
But other than that, my main idea, it's mainly just because I'm sticking to the idea that it's Springman. I think that at best they're going to probably bring over 2 characters from Assist Trophy to full-fledged hero status, and including Springman. So that only leaves 1. But yeah, for shits and giggles, I will say probably Springman, Gino, then Waluigi. I would say Bandana D might have a good shot.
Don't do this to me again. I keep going back to this.
I know it bugs you, but it's I was gonna also say I think they're gonna do a Nintendo requested favorite for a while, so that could also be a myriad of things. It could be Professor Layton, it could be Paper Mario, which would be more of my favorite. I've already joked. Whomever, it could be Jinyanyan or whatever the
Yokai Watch, right?
Yokai Watch rep is. Filling out between those 4, it's going to be 2 big third parties, not counting but I don't know who.
What about you, Corgi? You got any ideas for the second pass?
Aside from what's been said, I'm still on the idea of a Tekken character getting in.
Tekken's a good one, yeah.
Yeah.
Just to round out the main fighting classes between all the studios.
Yeah, because aside from that, I think that's pretty much all the big ones. not counting like Arxis games.
Yeah, I've always been like kind of on the idea it could be a Soul Calibur character, specifically just Yoshimitsu, just because it's both Tekken and Soul Calibur.
True.
With my current look of things, I think that if we're getting a fighting character, it's ARMS. Like, you can call it whatever you want, it's a fighting game, even if you don't believe it is. So I think that Heihachi being in the past is just not really as likely to me, just because in the history of Smash, usually when it comes to fighting game characters, it's a one and done for that cycle. Like, this was true for Ryu, this was true for Ken, and now this was true for Terry. Another reason I don't think Heihachi is as likely is because Bandai Namco still has not gotten a DLC fighter, still has not gotten a base game fighter, has gotten nothing since Pac-Man. All the Bamco Mii costumes are not in the game at all yet, which includes Heihachi, it includes Gil, and it includes Lloyd Irving from Tales of. I'm going to come out and just say it. JRPGs are wanted for DLC. They're wanted in Smash, whether we want it or not. Wii U's DLC was 4 out of 6 JRPG characters, and Smash Ultimate's DLC was 3 out of 5 JRPG characters. They're coming. Like, whether you want it or not, it's happening. Gino being a JRPG character and also like a fan favorite kind of suits that area. The other two, I think, for this pass, and I do think there's going to be 3, are Lloyd Irving from Tales of and Rex from Xenoblade 2. Because, as Corgi had mentioned earlier, Rex was by far more popular and requested than Springman, and was listed as not getting in for the same reason as Springman. So to me, adding an ARMS character right now is like the biggest hint.
Like I said earlier, Sakurai loves Xenoblade 2. He's came out and said he really enjoys that game. He loves it.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think as far as it goes, my personal pass that I've built is Lloyd, Gino, Rex are probably what I consider to be the most likely characters right now. I think that Dante from Devil May Cry is going to get in just because we have every other major Capcom franchise aside from Devil May Cry at this point. We have Monster Hunter content in the game. We have Resident Evil now. The only Capcom franchise that really has not been represented is Devil May Cry and Phoenix Wright. I think Dante is the next step for Capcom, personally. I think that aside from Dante, we'll get RL Nadja from Puyo Puyo because Tetris walked so Puyo could fly.
Not the other way around.
The thing is, though, is that Puyo's been making this huge leap in the West recently and is nuts, insane, like, popular over in Japan. So,
I mean, if we're going by that, though, like, that's kind of fitting some rules into it. Like, it's a possibility, but I'm not sure if it's definite.
Not indefinite. Definitely not definite. I'm not trying to say it's a definite. I'm just trying to say that, like, as far as good characters go that I consider likely, Puyo is probably the character that's the highest up there for me, because it's one of those Sega franchises that's like a powerhouse in Japan and is making its way into the West. Like, the immediate thought I have is Dragon Quest and how huge Dragon Quest is for Japan, but like is just now making a break in America and like the West. And if not Puyo Puyo, another Sega franchise, Sakura Wars. So yeah, Dante, Arl, Gino, Lloyd, Springman, and Rex, I think, are our pass. We're gonna go on to the last segment. Thank you
Q&A.
Thank you for getting this far into the podcast. If you have so far, I really appreciate all the support. I know that longer videos can be a drag for some people to watch, but it helps the channel grow and it helps me grow. And again,
throw it on in the background or something.
Yeah, well, you can listen to us, which we should probably say it's at the beginning and not the end, but who cares? Point is, at the end of these videos, I'd like to do a Q&A section where the four of us, Corgi, Raio, Gamma, and Wi-Fi, I'll answer some questions either on Discord, YouTube, or Twitter. You can add me on Twitter, you can go onto my Discord server, both those links are in the description, or you can just comment on this video and give us your questions here. Any of those methods are fine and dandy. I'd like the podcast to have more than the four of us sometimes, so there may be special guests at some points. I've already had a couple of talks with a couple of people who are interested. So
also,
like a mannequin.
Make sure you clarify if your questions are specific per person, or also we're just going to treat it as a group question, whether that be through Twitter, Discord, or comment.
Yes, that's very important. I am going to go through these questions. I want my buddies to go through them with me. But if your question is specifically for someone else, then you need to mention that this question is for Raio, this question is for Corgi, this question is for Gamma, this question is for Wi-Fi. That being said, our first question comes from Twitter user Dynamite Penguins. great guy, Rayman for Smash. Yes, but it's not going to happen.
Same the boat. I would love Rayman, just especially if it's like the Origins or Legend style. Sorry, original purist, but Ubisoft and Nintendo have a weird sort of relationship. They have the rabbits in, and they have Altair. Don't you forget, it's just Altair, no series attached.
Altair from Altair.
Ridley and Banjo Get Again is like everything I could want. So stuff like Bandana D, Masked Man, Rayman, like my other big wants. I can't be greedy and say that they're super likely no matter the situation. And frankly, to me right now, Rayman just doesn't really strike me as the biggest platformer character to pull from. Like Crash would be the next one I expect before Rayman.
I mean, I can be fucking greedy
that
here.
Answers a question in the Discord where someone asked specifically at you, now that Banjo and Ridley are in Smash, who are your 4th and 5th most wanted Smash Ultimate picks?
So beforehand, my top 5 was Banjo, Rayman, Masked Man, Ridley, or Dark Samus. I mentioned that I wouldn't care if it was either, and I got both, lucky me. And Bandana Wild D. I think Bandana Wild D, Rayman, and Masked Man are still really cool concepts that I'd like in Smash. If I'm talking about the next two I think are likely, definitely Lloyd Irving and Arl Nadja. Because Puyo Puyo has left a huge print on my life, even if I never expected it to. And Tales of is just a great franchise. I think any Tales of character would be nice. If we're talking absolute pipe dream, like who I want that's never going to happen, I want Klonoa so bad in Smash. You have no idea how much I want Klonoa.
I mean, yes, I do. I always joke about Klonoa, and you're always like,
wow.
Klonoa would be so good. Klonoa, and then a character from the Disgaea franchise. Preferably Laharl. I would take a Prinny. Disgaea is
you would take a Prinny?
I would take anything from Disgaea.
Prinny would be a weird pick, though.
It would be so cool, though. Think about it.
I mean, isn't there one Prinny game for the PSP or something?
There's
Actually,
two! There's two of them!
Yeah.
Prinny's great. I loved the Disgaea franchise. Great set of games if you want to get into them. From Where's the Smash Rayo on Twitter. Where's the Smash, Rayo? So, Gamma, where's the Smash?
What?
It's not.
Can you repeat the question?
Where's the Smash? That's all the question is. Where's the Smash? I can't
I'm sorry.
find the Smash.
Repeat that. I can't understand what you're saying.
Yeah, let's move on.
Weird question. I speaking a different language.
Didn't we play like Smash like about what was it, like 5 years ago when 4 came out?
Yeah.
Smash Brothers Brawl.
That's Smash Brothers Melee.
Yeah, Smash Bros. 64.
64.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Smash Bros. On the Game Boy, right?
Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
There you go.
What is it, Super Smash Flash? Something like that?
Yeah, that one.
TM.
From Geist on Twitter, are there any obscure franchises you wish that you wish were more popular? For me, it would probably be Klonoa. I mentioned him a little while ago, but I really like the Klonoa games, and it's a damn shame that they're not popular. What about you guys?
I mean, for me, like, the only thing I can say is that most of the games that I play are kind of not too niche. The only one was Persona, but that's hit dream really. Probably like the Professor Layton games or like any Picross game.
I play a lot of indies, but I don't know if any of the indies I play are necessarily obscure. Maybe Gunvolt from Azure Striker Gunvolt.
Ooh,
Gunvolt
okay.
would be cool.
The only one I could really think of would have been Bravely Default, but we're getting another one, so I would say if anyone hasn't played the originals for DS or 3DS, try them out. They're really good. They're really good turn-based RPGs.
I just realized that you could have said maybe like 2 or 3 years ago Xenoblade Hunter or
Yeah, I could have.
Sure.
Xenoblade,
Yeah.
Xenoblade
Shulk's in
is such a good like glow up, man.
It's popping off these days. I'm so excited.
Another one I would have said too is, though I guess it's not obscure anymore, but Nier Automata and then Nier coming out.
Who do you main in Puyo Puyo Tetris, Puyo Champions, or Puyo Sun? This question is really only for me and Gamma, since we're the only ones that really play Puyo.
I mean the O-Block?
I like the science guy, but I'm not good at the game.
I play Ekolo, and only Ekolo.
I play X.
And I only play Puyo Puyo Tetris. I have Champions, but I don't play it nearly enough because it's all esports stuff, and I'm not good at Puyo.
You're scrub.
Exactly. From Computer Player, who is your favorite Power Ranger? I watched the dinosaur ones, and I liked the pterodactyl.
I was about to say, I watched the dinosaurs ones with my brother, and like, I guess I liked the Green Ranger, like, who became the White Ranger in that series or something.
Power Rangers.
Watch Power Rangers, or at least that I remember.
The only name I know is the Red Ranger is named Jason. That's about it. All I remember.
A quick question from Discord, since
Shoot, go for it.
I'm currently actually listening to music related to it, but Cyanide, is that how you say it?
Yep, Cyanide. They're real cool, dude.
He said, you think we can get an Octopath character for Smash, or better yet, have all 8 in one moveset? I don't know if you guys played the game, but like...
Watch you play it.
Yeah. I think it would be cool to get an Octopath character in, but the way the game is set up is that it gives each character their own arc, and like, there's so many favorites amongst the cast, and they're all so recognizable. Either, like, having all 8 characters in one moveset would something like weird, like you could do like a class system, but to choose one character to be the face of Octopath Traveler is just not really doing justice to the game itself.
Picking one is impossible, and putting all 8 into a character I think is also impossible. I would love for it to get in, but I don't think it's very likely now. The next one that I have is, how have you been? From Who Calls Me Kai on Twitter. I've been pretty good. Feeling good with this channel getting back into action. Been getting hype, getting real hype.
I've been fine. The quarantine has been okay. I have to work because I'm an essential worker, but
Just cruising the day, spending time playing games.
Heck,
that's how I spend it. Animal Crossing's relaxing me, forget about boring
you mean addicted?
kind of tad.
It is. It's very addictive.
Stripe from Discord asks, what is your favorite Shrek movie? I am
2.
going to say
Ooh.
I'd say 2.
You guys are all a bunch of sadists.
What?
Why?
It's the first one is like the best one. It's not
Okay, yeah.
It's
But-
good, but Shrek 2 is just the
Are
story.
you telling me the
so
Fairy
much
Godmother singing
greater.
I Need a Hero wasn't epic?
Are you telling me Humanoid Shrek was a good idea?
Yes.
Was that the second one?
That
Yeah,
was the
that's
second
it.
one, buddy.
Or he got
Oh.
turned into a human.
You give it your take.
I mean, he looks like a football player. It's fine.
I mean,
No.
to be fair,
It looked fine for the time.
Yeah.
okay, the first is great. I'd say
The first is still
it's
great.
hard, actually.
Mm-hmm.
2 is I like better just because specifically I like the story a little bit better.
I wonder-
I
And
feel like
it-
I've watched the original
it-
Shrek so much
yeah.
that it's just been like, I know it.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how Stripe
There's
feels.
no-
Like he asked us this obviously like a meme question, and here we are getting into detail about it because
I mean, I could have
He's
been
probably fine with
mean and
it.
say that Shrek 3 is my favorite, even though that's a dead-faced lie, and I hate that movie.
I have not seen it.
I remember getting out of the
theater.
theater and being like,
I've seen all
That
4,
was
but I
nice.
only remember 1 and 2. So that goes to show how much I care about the other ones. Next one comes from Gino, the god of E3 on our Discord server.
So
Opinions
the God of E3.
opinions on Halo on Switch, Master Chief in Smash, or any really big Microsoft IPs coming to the Switch.
Yes.
I would,
Not really.
I would love Halo to be on Switch. I probably would
Would
play
love-
it so much.
Okay, yeah, Halo
It'd be
games on
good.
Switch,
Yeah.
that'd be pretty neat.
yeah, no, if you talk to any of the guys here, the only Halo I played is Halo 4.
Which is
Also, I still
unfortunate.
like Halo 4.
So unfortunate.
So it's like when I play the original Halos with these guys, the only one that I kind of like is Halo Reach, but that's test map.
That's just because it's a good one.
It's a good one.
It's the
Halo-
best one even.
Sure.
Honestly, the best.
But regardless, would be happy for the Halo fans to have another way to play their game on Switch. As for Master Chief in Smash, it would be a little bit awkward at first, just because it's kind of like realistic gun, kind of like Joker, except it's all gun. But at the same time, I also kind of
All
want it's all gun. I still want Doom Guy kind of in Smash, just because I think that would be hilarious.
if
And
I had to
that kind of
choose,
counteracts my point.
if I had
Yeah.
to choose between Doom Guy and Chief, I would choose Chief 100%. Just because
I
although
would choose
Doom Guy
Doom
is
Guy.
historical and has more importance, I like Chief better. It's just selfish. That's all it is.
I would
but-
choose Doom Guy just because I love the BFG so much.
If
I would choose
Go
Doom
ahead.
Guy because I don't know. I think Doom Eternal kind of made it a little less serious than Doom 2016 was. Like you can have a unicorn costume now too.
Oh,
Doom Eternal.
Word.
nice.
It's really cool, but I think that'd be cool, and it's I guess fits more in with like how into that less serious kind of tone, as well as I want Mick Gordon music in Smash.
That's true. Mick Gordon's music would be great.
As far as other Microsoft IP going, you're asking a Rareware fan if they want Rareware games to go back to Nintendo, and the answer is always going to be yes. Please.
Yeah, they really missed out grab by the Ghoulies on Nintendo's GameCube, so...
Banjo, Nuts and Bolts, get it on the Switch. I don't care if it's a bad game. I want them back.
If we're talking about Rareware, didn't they make all the like Kinect games?
Yes, they did. Why would they put Kinect on the...
Kinect Adventure Smash Rep?
Yeah.
Just
Microsoft
Avatar?
Kinectimals assist trophy?
All right, you
It works exactly like Nintendogs.
From Perfecto on our Discord server. Any opinions on the Siva Gunner YouTube channel? And from T. Darian on our Discord server. What is your favorite flavor of Crayola? I say mac and cheese is personally my favorite flavor of Crayola.
I like strawberry.
Hunter Green.
I like apples. Apples are good.
As for Steve Gunner,
we're going to move on to the next question.
No, I want to talk about Steve Gunner and how they did a thing about the Muppets Party Cruise.
Hey, you stop.
No. I'll bring up the Jotaro Kujo theme again, just to annoy you.
You'll get kicked.
How dare you?
From S. Splur on Twitter.com. Are you ever gonna start a new channel about different things you're passionate about?
Like gaming, maybe.
I'm kind of
I
already.
think that's what they mean.
I know what they mean. My channel right now really covers a lot of the passion that I like, and if I want to upload something outside of my norm, I will do it. Like, I don't like to restrict myself to just one thing. That's why I opened back up with Animal Crossing and not Smash.
Or you're a Smash tuber.
That being said, making a separate channel entirely for anime and like cartoons and stuff like that, I've considered it before. I don't think it's a good idea right now just because I really don't have a footing on YouTube. Like, I don't have my place on the platform yet. Maybe later down the line, just a channel where I can talk about shows that I like. If you're a long time follower of the channel, I actually opened with 3 videos: a Ukulele and a Hat in Time review, a video about Jessica Jones on Netflix, and then a video about Ruby Volume 5. That was 100% a test run to see what content people like, and video games won out hands down. So I would prefer to keep Raio, the channel, video game oriented, but I would also like to talk about anime sometimes because there's some bangers. Keep your hands off Izoken.
Keep your hands off Izoken, yeah.
Yep. I love Izoken. That one's a good one. These two I'm going to combine into one question. They're both from Tomaselli Wyatt, I think I pronounced that right, and Zaz. They are, got any ideas for a new video? And what are your thoughts on Terry and Byleth? And which ARMS character do you think will be in Smash? We already answered the ARMS question on this podcast. I'll make a video about it, no doubt, eventually. But as far as the other 2 questions go, the next video I talk about the first Fire Pass. I give a little review on it, so that is what you guys can expect next.
A little review, and it's your longest video.
It is about, I think, what is it? 15 minutes long so far.
Oh, wow.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Potentially 17. I haven't worked it out yet in my head. Recording's already done. I am drawing for it right now. That is hell because I have a time limit that I have to set. It will be out.
This is for.
Yeah, that's why we have this. That being said, one last question to cap us off before we end. Why would you prefer to hide your beautiful face than show us how attractive you are? From Rafita on Twitter. Gamma Y5 Corgi, can you answer this question for me? Why do you guys prefer to hide your beautiful face and not do a face reveal?
I don't.
That's true.
Would you like to show your face, sir?
Oh, yeah, good point. Yeah. Besides, it's not like I'm hiding my face. Check out the Halloween video. You see what I look like. That's what I look like in real life. You can ask any of these guys. There's nothing behind there. I don't have a mouth. I don't got eyes. Eating is hard. It's difficult.
I was shown off in that Halloween video.
Yeah.
Like, my face is out there.
Yeah. would you guys like to add anything before we sign off?
Stay inside at the moment.
Stay at
Stay home.
Yeah.
There's plenty of games to play. Play them.
Sure.
Play old games.
Go
on your backlog. Get
Yeah.
depressed because you defeated your backlog and now it's small.
Watch old shows, watch new shows, watch YouTube. Watch this whole video, this whole podcast 5 times and fill it.
Ads on.
And stay
If
home.
you put ad blocker off, I am banning you from my Discord. You will be banned.
Wait.
I will find a way to find
Wait.
you.
Don't you mean
There's no
ad blocker? Leave the ad blocker off.
That's what I said.
No, you're saying you're gonna ban him.
Leave ad blocker on. I'll ban you if you.
Yeah, that's what you said.
Anyways, there's no consequences. There's nothing wrong. But he will ban you.
All right. Thank you for listening to the first episode of the Coffee and Cider Cast. I don't know if this is going to be the normal length. I don't know how often we're going to talk about stuff in this formatting. This was our first go. If you liked it, leave a like, a comment, subscribe. You can even dislike. Any of it helps me figure out what people like on my channel, and it's all very supportive and very nice. If you'd like to get in contact with me a little more directly, since YouTube comments are hell to go through, I have a Twitter account and a Discord server. You can talk to me on either of those, and you can talk to any of my beautiful, wonderful friends on this podcast in those locations too. Their links are in the description below. Check it out. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next video.
Yeah.
Bye.